Hello friends, welcome back to the channel where we share encouraging words without compromising. I'm Brother Ray and this is my wife Anne, and today we want to talk about what day of the week is the Sabbath. Now recently, many people have been looking into the Sabbath and they want to know more about the Sabbath. And our last video we talked about what is the Sabbath day or what is it all about. We will put a link for that video in the description below, so if you missed that video, please feel free to check out that link to learn more about what the Sabbath is all about. We also encourage you to please remember to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your family and friends because they may want to also know about the Sabbath. And also hit the bell notification so you'll know when we post the next video about the Sabbath, about any other topic that we get into in discussion on our channel. So let's get right into it as we talk about what day of the week is the Sabbath day. Usually we do a question and answer format, and the first question today will be going to my wife, Anne. Now the first question for you today is, what is the biblical basis for identifying the Sabbath day as Saturday?
Okay, that's a very good question. When we are Christian and we want to know anything about what God says, we should go to the scripture because it's so easy to hear what somebody say, and somebody who can speak well, even he can be a pastor, and we go along with what others say, and we're telling you, don't even trust us, trust the Bible, God's words. Get your Bible and check it out. So I'm going to show you from Genesis chapter 2, from verse 2 to 3, what it says. So Genesis chapter 2, verse 2 to 3. On the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God created and made. So this is after creation. We know the story of creation, that God created everything in 6 literal days. And on the seventh day, you can see here 3 times it says seventh day. He rested from all his work that he has made. And he sanctified it. So it means he set it apart. It's not going to change. And he blessed the seventh day.
Wow, that's very interesting. So the Sabbath was created at the beginning of time in Genesis. Now, God tired that he created a day of rest, like God just did everything 6 days, and then he said, well, maybe I'm tired, so I'll just create this day to rest. Was that what he did?
No, God is never tired. He's never tired. But the seventh day, check out our previous video, is a blessing. It's not a day of, you should not do that. You should just sit down, and God tells us to cease from our work, actually. It's Exodus chapter 20, from verse 8 to 11. That's the 10 commandments that God gave to Moses. And in these 10 commandments, at the center of the 10 commandments, there is the fourth commandment. And the only commandment that starts with remember, because God knew that.
Right, they forgot it. Right.
People will forget. So,
but wait, before you read that, I want to say something. And now that you mentioned the word remember, now you just mentioned that God gave the 10 commandments, or God set aside at the 7th day at creation. Now, the Bible doesn't contradict itself. The Bible is a smooth flowing book that you read line upon line, here a little, there a little. Now, remember, you just read that in Genesis, on the 7th day, God ended his work and he rested. So this is just after creation. Now, you had all these people, Adam and Eve, and their generation, Abraham, all of them came down. They kept the Sabbath. So now when God has given the 10 commandments to Moses, God has the right to say, remember. I can only tell you to remember something if you knew it before. So what God is saying here, as you're about to get into the 4th commandment, where God says, remember, it's because the 7th day, Sabbath, was instituted before. So when God was giving the commandments to Moses, he's basically telling, look, this commandment has been in existence since the beginning. But along the way, the people have forgot it. So I want them to remember the Sabbath day. That's why he's saying remember.
That's right.
Because a lot of people believe that the commandments, when Moses got tablets, that's when the Sabbath came into play.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people believe. But the Sabbath was there even before there was a Jewish nation.
That's right.
Because a lot of people think Sabbath is for the Jewish people, the Jewish nation. And like you say, God said, remember, because when you look at the context, when God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses, God's people were in Egypt.
That's right.
And they were slaves there. And over time, they stayed there for a while. They forget about the Sabbath. They went with the Egyptian customs and all these things. And, they were false gods and their idols and things like that. So that's the context too. Right. And God said, remember the seventh day.
That's right.
Yeah. So let me read it to you. Verse 8 of chapter 20. It says, remember the seventh day to keep it holy. For 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. And then there is the rest of the commandments. But you see here that it says, remember the Sabbath day. So it talks about the Sabbath. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day. And what is the seventh day? Is Saturday. Saturday is the seventh day. And
something also interesting too. You see, it says that in the beginning, God created everything in 6 days, rested on the what? Seventh day. And then God says that in 6 days you do all your work and rest on the what? Seventh day. Yeah. Which is what day?
Saturday. And let me tell you something. I was born and grew up in France, and in France, all the calendars, as far as I can remember, the seventh day is Sunday. All the calendar. I think it's like that for many European countries, and I think some calendars in America too. But if you look at the calendar, that's a beautiful calendar I have here. But you see, the seventh day is Saturday, and if you ask the question, and you have the right to ask, how do I know the seventh is Saturday? How do I know it was not changed? How do I know truly it's not Sunday? And all these things. And I think we have the right to ask. It's a good question. Yeah. And again, we respect all people's belief, and we don't say we are better than anybody else. But there is proof that the seventh day is Saturday.
Right. Well, for example, if you look at let's go back to the Jewish nation that came down from generation to generation to generation.
Yeah.
And you look at the nation, what day do they honor?
Yeah.
They honor the Sabbath day. Now, if anybody was going to switch the day or keep the day, the Jewish nation would have been the first people to be keeping Sunday as a Sabbath day. Because remember, the Jewish nation, they came down following the rules throughout years. They never changed it. They never changed the day of worship. Now, you mentioned the calendar change. Now, the calendar was changed from a Julian calendar to a Gregorian calendar. And this happened in the year of 1582. And what happened was, in the year 1582, October 4th, what happened was the king decided that they made some mistakes with the prior years, with leap years and all of that. So they wanted to take out days to October 4th, after in that year of 1582. They changed October 4th, and instead of going to October 5th, they went to October 16th. But what happened was, the Thursday was October 4th, and then they just moved October 16th to the Friday. So it was October 4th, Thursday, and then they went to October 16th on the Friday and continued the same weekly cycle. So there was never any change in the daily cycle of the calendar. Sunday was still Sunday.
Okay.
Monday was still Monday, all the way through to Saturday. So there was no change of Sunday changing to Saturday. So that's what happened in that year. That was the only change. And the calendar was changed from a Julian calendar to a Gregorian calendar. Right now, we're under a Gregorian calendar. That's the calendar we follow. Now, something also to remember, in the biblical times, the Jewish nation, or a calendar in biblical times, didn't have 365 days. It only had 360 days. It was an even number. But as the time changed and as the Gregorian calendar came in, then we start having 365 days and a leap year. But none of this ever affected the daily cycle where the first day of the week started on Sunday and the seventh day was always Saturday.
Yeah, and it makes me think also that the day of rest on Saturday was observed even outside of the
Correct.
Jewish nation
Yes.
for like
For many
thousands
years.
of years.
Yeah.
Even the Babylonians, the day of rest was Saturday, and I think we still have even a remnant of that, because if you look, the schools everywhere kind of stop on Friday,
Right.
and there is Saturday, so we have a remnant of this rest on Saturday, and then Sunday was added. We're gonna talk about that later,
Yeah.
but yeah, and even if you look, the languages of the world, there is hundreds of nations.
Correct.
The seventh day, the word for seventh day is rest.
The roots.
Like
yes.
like for example, Spanish is sábado, rest.
Russian is sabolta.
Yeah, and French is samedi.
Right.
Italian, I think, is saboti. Hundreds of languages, like seventh day, Saturday is rest. Is the seventh day, and for thousands of years it has been like that. And one thing I want to add to, because I love nature, and we like to study nature with our children. And what is amazing, and you can research it, it's true. Many of the animals that have not been bothered by civilization, really, like beavers or bees, they would have a different rhythm on Saturday, on seventh day. Like beavers, they don't build nothing on the Sabbath,
They
on the
stay
Saturday.
inside,
They rest. Well, there are exceptions if the beaver are next to cities or things like that. They kind of get the rhythm of the cities. But the ones that are really, in the country, if you're in the country and it's calm, and check it out for yourself. Even bees.
Bees too.
Even other animals, I think I saw. And that's something that shows you, the Bible, God tells us to
rest.
ask the birds, ask the beasts of the field, and they will tell you the glory of the Lord.
Amen.
They will tell you. It's so easy sometimes to look at nature and we find so many answers.
Yeah, that's right. So let's discuss this last question together.
Yeah.
So if this is the case, that the Sabbath is Saturday and Saturday is a 7th day, and why is it so many people worship on Sunday, the first day of the week?
Yeah, that's a big question. I think we should make a full video about this.
Yeah, and that's a question that I'm sure that someone watching would say, well, you guys are saying Saturday is the 7th day and is the Sabbath. So why are so many people in the world keeping Sunday?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So if you search in history, there have been changes that have been made. So first of all, Jesus kept the Sabbath. The disciples all kept the Sabbath. And the early church all kept the Sabbath on Saturday. And eventually something happened with the Romans. And the Christians, if you look at history, have been persecuted for their beliefs. They didn't want to worship the idols and worship on other days. And we often talk about, slavery here in America and things like that, but or the Holocaust, which are tragic things and sad, but we never talk about the millions, more than 50 millions of Christians have been killed.
Persecuted, right.
But, well, we know God allowed it for a reason, and we will understand better in heaven. But they have been persecuted because they really wanted to follow the word of God.
Right.
But it has been changed by the Romans,
right.
By also the Roman Catholic Church at this time.
Right.
And Constantine also kind of decreed that the change.
Right. So what happened is that after they were persecuting the Christians, as you mentioned, they realized that the more that they persecute Christians, the more Christians were growing, and that's what happened.
Like seeds planted.
Correct. That happened throughout history.
Yeah.
The more someone is persecuted or martyred, the more it grows, and they realize. So Constantine, he realized that this is a problem. So what Constantine did, he said, okay, let's change the day, and they can worship their own way. So he changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday to make it convenient so that he can say, okay, well, you can worship on both days and do what you want on this day.
Yeah.
And he also, in the process, he also told the people, well, you can bring your idols in and worship as well, and invent and brought in paganism. So he basically changed the day from Saturday to Sunday and give authority.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and he had a dream also. He had a dream, and I can't remember the
with
dream.
The vision with the cross, with a cross in the sky. When he was trying to cross a river to conquer another nation.
Yeah, exactly.
And basically, he said, because I have this vision, God is going to guide me, and this is what God said to me. And they did win the battle, by the way. And that's what led him to making the change and brought it. Switching the days.
But I want you to say that sometimes dreams don't come from God.
That's right.
I believe it was not from God.
That's right.
Because God never changes. If he says something, it's and we will worship on Sabbath in heaven too.
Right.
That's for another video. But he had this dream, and remember that we have the word sun day because they used to worship the sun.
Correct.
As a pagan, as a false god.
Right.
And like you say, they compromise.
Correct.
They took Christianity and paganism
and they
brought it together.
Right.
And it sounds good, honestly. Let's all worship together and we have peace. Everybody wants peace. We want peace. But Martin Luther said, peace if possible, but truth at all costs. It's good to have peace, but we need to have the truth most of all. And so that's kind of how it happened. Maybe we should make a more...
We'll get yes, you know what? We'll tune in, because what we'll do, we'll make a video to get more in detail about the change of the date from Saturday to... The change of the day from Saturday to Sunday. You don't want to miss that. So tune in. We'll definitely make a video about that one.
And I want to tell people, there is a website. Check it out. It's there is a lot of details, a lot of information. So if you can't wait and get facts from history, biblical fact, and things that you can trust, is called sabbathtruth.com. Check it out, sabbathtruth.com. It's a nice website, and they have so many information about the Sabbath. Yeah,
that's right. So we're going to wrap up this video. We hope that you had a lot of information there to start off with, or continuing on your journey with learning about the Sabbath. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with your family and friends so that they will know about the Sabbath as well. We also will definitely make a video about the change of day. So you want to hit the bell notification and subscribe so you'll know when we post that video. And also we'll leave a link in the description below for the first video we made when we talk about what is the Sabbath day. That will let you know what the Sabbath day is. Now you know what day of the week is the Sabbath. The next video we'll talk about who changed the day or why it was changed. So we'll do a series of videos and you don't want to miss them. So we hope that you enjoyed this video. Until the next time, this is Brother Ray and this is my wife Anne. We hope that you're blessed. Be encouraged, keep studying, and remember that God is always good.
Always.
Bye-bye.
Bye.